Attention, people of Stanton.
We
are
honest.
citizens.
Oh, seven citizens. I'm Ottman, and he's Sexual Chocolate, and we are the Honest Citizens.
Welcome, welcome.
Tonight we figured we'd give you a little insight into our experiences with the Xeno-Threat just after CIG's released their postmortem on the Xeno-Threat mission itself. So they asked the community 4 big questions, and we're going to give you our answers. Chocolate, what was your favorite element of the event?
I would hands down have to say my favorite element of the event would be the community coming together for the fighting. I just thought that was beautiful. That is my aspect that I will hold near and dear. I think they nailed that out of the park.
I'd have to agree. They did. The community was fantastic. Personally, I think just having a little bit of something for everyone. There were plenty of tasks for individuals to complete, all on a grand scale of things. You had cargo, you had dogfighting, you had patrol. It was great. It was a lot of fun. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it was absolutely like you said. You just expounded on it, and there was something there for everybody. Nobody was pigeonholed in anything, and I think that's why it was so well received.
With that though, what was your least favorite?
Oh, without a doubt, least favorite is going to go to how easy you got a damn crime stat. Next wave, that has to be fixed. Like, just do not release it until you have adjusted something there, because you had people who just did not care. Let's be honest, these are the same people where if we were at a gun range would probably get their brains blown out because they would run right in front of you while you're shooting and not listen to the ranger. It was terrible. I mean, you were there when I had a week streak of going to jail. You could just set your watch to it.
Yeah.
So I know
Yeah,
we're going to talk about something on that.
You had a lot of negative experiences with targeting and people running through crossfire and things of that. That was rough to be on the team and hearing that. I personally I didn't get a lot of that. I fly a little bit different than Chocolate does. I kind of sit back more with a snipey Connie setup. Nonetheless, there was that going around all the time. With that, then the just the general gameplay and flow of the cargo section. That was the first, actually phase 2 of CIG's methodology there. But realistically, the first wave of gameplay. What did you think about that?
I loved it. I really loved the first wave. I'd have to say that it kind of felt like, I'm trying to think of the word, where you overhype it and then when it's over, it doesn't quite live up to what you thought, because it's like the first wave was just mwah, the second wave just yeah, and then eventually we hit that third wave, and I just was like, what the hell? Especially when the community figured out how to cheese the system, because at that point it was like the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones when they just completely nosedive, and it just was like, how did you do this? And people not getting a chance to experience that because people have families, people have to work, they get in, and now everybody's throwing S9 missiles at it, and it's done in 2 minutes, and you didn't even get a chance to see the daggone thing. What about yourself?
Yeah, the first wave, the cargo mission FPS side of things felt very flushed out, very well thought of, thought through. There was more to do in that time than there was anywhere else. You had random openings of the hulls to get into, to breach, to secure the cargo in the first place. That alone was great. I mean, clearing out the Xenothreat dogfighters, making your way to a safe cargo wreck, only then to get in, and you don't know how many pirates are left. That was awesome. My heart was pounding every time I got in there and got to do it. The NPCs are they're at a new level of threat that it's great. It's it keeps you on your toes. You actually have to to take cover and whatnot. They're not just standing still. It happens time to time, but for the majority of it, especially during the event, they were hostile. I got killed plenty of times, you know. And then once we kind of got really good practice with the tractor beam tool, man, that made loading boxes in just a breeze. You know, I couldn't imagine even uh, trying to do that with people carrying everything back and forth.
Oh no, no, no. I mean, now that you say that, that takes me back to when we were doing that drug running mission with land jaws, and we figured out how you could just whip those things to the point that it make Tom Brady blush. But that is
Yes.
just freaking amazing, man.
Overall, I think one of the coolest things was just figuring out the different ships, how we can utilize them. I mean, I remember Landjaws grabbed his caterpillar. We opened up the one side of it, and we were just hurling boxes in. Amazing. Really glad also to see the 3 different types of cargo making it into further missions down the road here. Looks like we might be even getting some of those in 313. So really happy about that. I think that was an amazing addition to what what is just starting out to be a really cool game loop of cargo hauling. And then with that, then what did you think about the final aspect of it, the Idris part of the Xeno-Threat mission?
The final part for me, I loved it. It was a great wow factor, but once the honeymoon phase went away, it was a letdown. It was a letdown just because of how easy it was. Like if we got to go 1 through 10, I give that a 3, maybe a 4 at best, because people just figured out how to cheese it, and they robbed so many people of the joy of doing it. And then you were talking about it before off the record, if the Idris or the Javelin is supposed to come in to help us, how I remember it was like your 4th or 5th time when you finally got a chance to actually see the daggone thing come in. Everybody didn't get to see it. I'm pretty sure there's some people out there who never saw it, not one time. So it might as well just be an urban myth to them. So I think things like that, if they're going to set up and stage, it needs to be the way it was. Like you were talking about the cargoes, you've got the little meter to track, so you know you're about to hit it, as opposed to maybe we get it, maybe we don't.
Yeah, it was kind of a letdown to know that I was missing a big chunk of, the full experience by not having the Javelin on dock. And yeah, the 2 times that I was on a server slow enough to see the Javelin, I was in Quantum. It was hard. It was hard to separate the idea of this is the very first iteration of a server-wide or world event, and generally speaking, an amazing job for their first go at it. I think they learned a lot from the Halloween event, but at the same time, like you mentioned, the targeting just was such a letdown and a complication that we didn't even need. There was plenty of other aspects and speed bumps and hurdles in the way. Something as far as targeting and getting crime stats should never have been a factor in all this.
You always say try to bring a solution if you're going to gripe about the thing, right?
That's right.
And
That's right.
One just hit me while we're doing this is the griefers at the end really started coming out to make sure people couldn't complete the mission. That needs to escalate. Like you go out, you do it one time, fine. After that, give them a full day, 2, 3, the entire event in jail. And the amount of currency to get out, like just take it away or make it something where you're at least not seeing them for that day, because that's terrible. And if they want to make money and they want to attract new people and they want to keep these people, that's not going to do it. Because if that's your first experience to come in and you go back to that Halloween event, how if you are at Grimhex, somebody just brought you there, you're trapped inside a bay because people are just blowing you to smithereens as soon as the door comes up. Yeah, right. Stuff like that needs to be nipped in the butt. And it's an easy fix. You don't do the crime if you don't want to do the time type thing right there.
Sure. I will say, though, it is hard. There are plenty of players who wanted to be on the Xenothreat team. So what do? Maybe in general, there'd be a simple team, a group versus group kind of mentality. I mean, there's no reason why, if you accept that mission to fight the Xenothreat, why we weren't all together in the party to begin with. Or even if it's not a party, UI that we see, it's a party UI on the background of things to allow everybody in one area. Yeah, server chat's there, but realistically, who's I turn server chat off plenty of times. F12 is one of my favorite friends playing the game. If I want to focus in on what I'm doing, I'm hitting F12. But but it was kind of challenging like that. So yeah, so if there was enough people who wanted to be on the Xenothreat side of things, then maybe there should have been another mission. Say you were there and you fought and you killed X amount of people, then next time you landed in jail or whatever it is, maybe that's where, there's a Xenothreat guy on the inside saying, hey, you want to be part of us, come take this mission. And then now you're on that side of the team. You're going to be read immediately. There's no second guessing it, whatever it is. The UAE is coming after you, and that's it. But also I want to touch one other thing, scrolling through Spectrum again. Want to give shout out to Gundar, his idea, one of the higher rated topics here. Just changing the color of your targeting, so maybe like you said, the security or the Navy is green, friendlies are blue, and then the crime stat level 1 or 2 is a yellow or orange, and then finally the AI pirates and anybody at crime stat level 3, they're red. That's simple. I mean, as a UI UX person, like that's the kind of stuff that it's simple, it's easy to see, and you can immediately recognize and make a decision just based off a color. So I would love to see something more like that implemented. We've got a lot of talk about the Ninetales lockdown coming out. So we can speculate all day on how much cooler, hopefully, everything they've learned from Xenothreat, and then go from there.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree on everything you said. I love that post that you had brought up because that's short and sweet. And I'm glad they did do that post-mortem so they could get some ideas from the community. And honestly, I hope they listen to the community, because if they do exactly what you just said right there, the next one, from that alone, if they didn't do anything else, couldn't help but be better.
Without a doubt. Yeah, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. You know, rough around some edges here and there, but a lot of things that could be fixed pretty simple and easily, I think.
Only time will tell. On that note, that's pretty much all I have on the Xenothreat. How about yourself?
Yeah, that's about it. So with that, just want to close out saying, if you are enjoying what you're seeing, stay tuned for our next episode. We're going to dive into 313. And you know the drill. Hit that button, subscribe, like us, follow us. All the stuff will be in the description below. Have a good night.